Document is called Homeostasis Project, and it's fairly straightforward. It's asking you to pick two systems that are regulated by homeostasis and talk about them, describe them, make a diagram of that particular process, and then talk about how it's supposed to happen when regulation happens correctly, when homeostasis is happening correctly, and then also talk about how it can go awry and what can result if something goes wrong. So there's a little rubric here as to what you need to have. There's a whole bunch of systems you can pick from. Thyroid, growth hormone, sperm production, blood glucose regulation. That would be the glucagon and insulin we just talked about. Egg production, stress response, water regulation, melatonin, menstrual cycle. If you pick menstrual cycle, it's pretty complex, and it's a weird kind of homeostasis. It does do homeostasis, but it does it over the course of about 28 days. So it's a longer process. If you do choose menstrual cycle and how menstrual cycle behaves within homeostasis, you only have to do that one system, because it is more work to do that one system. So I want to make sure that you're not doing too much. If there's another system you want to talk about, you can ask me before you do it, and we can talk about it. I tried to get a pretty good representation of all the different systems that our body needs to keep in check in particular range in a set point. I gave you an example here of what what it would look like. And literally, like, the very first thing it says is to summarize your system. And so, stop. And so the very first thing you do is, I want to study calcium regulation. That gets you 5 points right there. Nice, right? Then you need to talk about how calcium is regulated in the bloodstream, what it does, what its benefits are, all those good kind of things. Then I'm going to ask you to draw a diagram. I don't want you to screenshot something and put it into a Google Doc. I want it actually drawn and a picture taken of it. And I apologize, this is poorly drawn because, I can't draw. We know this already. So I've tried to draw a picture make them similar to the pictures that I gave you in the slideshow. Here's my thyroid gland. It looks more like a bow tie. That doesn't look much like a bow tie. And then it talks about how calcitonin gets released, and it asks you in the rubric to label the response. So the response, if there's high blood calcium, it wants to maintain a set point. If it gets too high, the thyroid gland will become activated, and it'll activate this thing called calcitonin. That lowers the blood calcium levels back to normal. And then it also talks about the low. If blood calcium falls below a set point, what will happen? There's another set of glands called the parathyroid glands that are actually within the thyroid gland. Anyway, that one will take a little more work on your part. And then you're going to explain your diagram in words. So you're going to type out what's going on here. It says in the above picture, thyroid and parathyroid are responsible for making sure there's the right amount of calcium in the bloodstream. If there's too much, sensors in the thyroid will cause calcitonin to be released, causing calcium to be taken out of the bloodstream. This lowers the calcium in the bloodstream back to normal. If calcium levels get too low, parathyroid causes a hormone called PTH to be reduced, causing blood calcium levels to rise back to the normal level. Then the last thing that I'm asking you to do is to tell me what happens if something goes wrong. So, for example, if your parathyroid gland is overactive, it takes too much calcium out of the bloodstream, and that makes your bones weak, and that causes your bones to break more easily. It can cause kidney stones. That's just one problem that can happen. Some of this information will be in your textbook, depending on which systems you're looking at. Some of it you may have to go online to look for information. Okay. Those are the 6 parts. You're going to do that twice for 2 systems. Or you're going to do it once for 2 systems. We'll do it a total of 2 times. Okay. Questions? Yeah, Nate. I don't know yet. I haven't decided.
So we're not starting it today?
Oh, yeah, we are starting it today.
Oh, okay.
We are starting it today, and we'll work on it tomorrow. It is individual. And I don't know. I'm thinking maybe Tuesday.
Wait, here's next week.
It's not that bad.
Yeah.
5 points to identify the system. Thank you, Max. And did I mention that we're probably not going to be doing anything else for the next few days? There's no notes. There's no notes until this is done. Yeah. I was thinking maybe Tuesday.
That is called love.